The San Jose Sharks finish off their mega road trip in Colorado. Here's what you need to know.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker of the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first or second listen of the day as we continue to do these YouTube-only previews. So if you haven't yet, perfect time to hit that subscribe button. We're on the march to 4,000 subscribers. So let's get to know the Sharks Avs game here. So big game for the San Jose Sharks as they finish off their 7-game road trip where the vibes right now for the Sharks are at an all-time high, at least recently, all-time recently high. But right, the Sharks are playing well. You just won a commanding 6-2 beatdown over the Buffalo Sabres. You had a great emotional come from behind game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now you're playing against the big boys in the Colorado Avalanche. So the Avs here have been playing outstanding. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games. One of the best teams in the NHL. And they have their sights set on bigger things. So let's see how these two teams match up. The Sharks 17-37-9. The Avalanche 36-24-2. The Sharks 2.62 goals per game, 29th in the NHL, 3.65 goals allowed, 32nd, 18.8 on the power play, 25th in the NHL, and 75.5% on the PK, good for 24th. The Avs offense, good, 3.24 goals per game, 8th in the NHL. Goals allowed, 2.94, 16th. Power play is humming along at 22.9%, 14th in the NHL, and the PK also at 14th at 80.1. Tyler Toffoli leads the Sharks in goals with 24. William Eklund leads the team in assists with 33 and points with 46. MacKinnon leads the Avalanche in goals with 26. MacKinnon with a ridiculous 70 assists and 93 points for the Avalanche. So while the kind of defensive numbers, at least goalie numbers for the Avalanche, they don't blow you away. You have to keep in mind, right? Georgiev, first chunk of the season, they have been a much, much better team since the Mackenzie Blackwood trade. So while those numbers aren't the sexiest numbers for Colorado, remember Georgiev, there's a reason why they basically swapped out their entire goalie tandem mid-season because they knew they could not win with those goalies. So comparing the teams, it's very Avalanche heavy, right? They rank 15th in the NHL when it comes to 5-on-5 goals for. They're very good at creating expected goals and driving shots. They're 4th in the NHL when it comes to Corsi for. Like they drive a lot of shot attempts and actually kind of get unlucky when it comes to goals for. So defensively, they do a good job of limiting shot attempts and expected goals. But the 5-on-5 goals, they're kind of a little bit unlucky there. And I think that kind of speaks to the goaltending issues that they've had this season. They are 4th in their division when it comes to point percentage, 11th in the NHL. And again, I think that speaks so much to how poor their goaltending was to begin this season. But most of their numbers are kind of middle of the pack to upper echelon for them. But I think they're a better team than kind of what some of their numbers say right now. So looking at how they line up, MacKinnon, Netchis, I can always never say his name. Anyway, the guy from Carolina that they traded for, first line, Druin, Middlestat, and Nichushkin, second line, Kiviranta, Drury, and Colton on the third, Wood, Kelly, and O'Connor on the fourth. Team is really over the last couple weeks with Nichushkin's return has gone from just MacKinnon driving this team to having actual 4 lines, or actually, sorry, 2 lines here that can actually score. And Nichushkin's a big part of that. Taze Makar, first, like we know, Makar is ridiculous. Gerard Shellington, Lindgren, Malinsky, Lindgren, who they just acquired from the Rangers, and then Wedgwood and Blackwood in nets. So for San Jose, we know this team is we're right before the trade deadline. This is the game before the trade deadline for everybody in the NHL. We know this could be the last game for some players, right? You look at guys like Nico Sturm, Luke Cunnin, like these guys who were kind of some of the first pieces that that Mike Greer brought in to kind of stabilize things. Like this could be these guys' last games. Mario Ferraro potentially, like this could be a very potentially emotional game. The Avalanche, right? They need every point because they're trying to play catch up. Right now, they're 2 points behind the Minnesota Wild. The Avalanche has 74. The Wild have 76. At least to get in, for the third spot in the Central. But do you want to play Dallas? I think that's a big question. If not, you're probably going to be playing. I guess you'd probably end up playing Vegas. So you want to pick your poison there. Would you rather play Dallas? Would you rather play Vegas? I guess for if you were the Colorado Avalanche. But I think for the Sharks, right? This last game has been a brutally long road trip, right? Week and a half, almost 2 weeks long road trip. You've been playing very well this entire road trip. We have seen a different Sharks team, right? It feels like we're starting to kind of turn the page on no longer that kind of tanking team, but we're starting to see them build something, right? And it's led very much by the Sharks young core, William Eklund, Mac Celebrini, Will Smith. I just hope that this isn't the run out of gas game, which you'd fully expect. The game where things just kind of go off the rails and you're kind of maybe due for a stinker and just too much, just a little bit too much. You're ready to go home. Like it kind of feels like that game for me. Like I do not have a good feeling about this game because I just feel like this team, maybe they run out of gas, especially with how well they have been playing on this road trip. I for some reason I just feel like it is this one gets out of hand because one, Avalanche, they're good. They need every point that they can get. They know they have to bank these 2 points against the San Jose Sharks, and I just feel like I got a bad feeling about this. So I actually think this game's like 6-2 Avalanche, and that's okay. Right? If you would have told me that the Sharks in these 7 games, they had one bad game and all the rest of them, they either were competitive, they were 1-goal games, like they were in every game, like you would totally take that. And if to lose to the Avalanche, like I would, they're a very good team and they have bigger things that they're trying to do right now. So I do think the Avalanche kind of run away with this game. Like I said, 6-2, but we continue to see the young kids get points. Give me another Eklund point because he's been on fire as of late. And I think Celebrini does score another goal tonight. So I got the Avalanche winning 6-2, unfortunately. So, but that's okay. We'll still have plenty to talk about here at Locked On Sharks. Make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. Of course, we'll break down this game, any trade news and stuff as we get ready for the trade deadline, which is tomorrow. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well.